What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Total War Warhammer. We're gonna start up a campaign tonight. Let's see, Grand Campaign. And we are going to do a Dwarven campaign. So as we see here, dwarves have grudges to settle. It is what they do. They can move in the underway, so you can go under mountains and whatnot. And they have a lot of heavily armed units, and they can field deadly war machines.
Send me to vengeance.
We are going to do an Ungrim Ironfist campaign, and he starts off with some Longbeards, Thunderers, and some Slayers. So the Thunderers will be great to keep our dwarf warriors in the battle longer, especially since we're going to be playing on very hard. And the Thunderers will give us some armor-piercing missiles right off the bat, and then we will be able to bring some Slayers to get around the enemy lines and, you know, maybe get some skirmishers. So as we can see here, Ungrim negates 50% upkeep for his Slayer units, and recruitment cost for Slayers is also down by 25%. So in this battle, in this campaign rather, what I want to talk about, especially in the beginning, is how to set yourself up for success on a very hard and up campaign. And some of the actions that you should take right off the bat. Settlements you should capture, factions you should be at war with, factions you should avoid being at war with. And yeah, and kind of also what to build and what to research, what units to make, all that sort of stuff. So let's go ahead and start it up. I'll let you watch the opening cinematic. Just a second, and I'll get rid of my face.
The old world is a crucible of relentless war. It has ever been so. An era as long as the mountains are unyielding. But as the storms gather again, it presents a chance for the brave to bring about an age of reckoning. I come to the Dwarf High King as a herald of such times, and so I find myself at the King's right hand. My presence is timely, for dire news comes from the south. Greenskins flock to the banner of a cruel war boss. Now, my liege, Ungrim Grudgebearer, leads a mighty throng from Karazakarak, smashing aside any foes that block our path. If Grudgebearer desires to return the Karaz Angkor to its former glory, then he must rid his lands of vile greenskins. Those gathering within the shadows of Everpeak are a good start.
You know, you just gotta love those opening cinematics. So cool. So well done. They're so detailed. Shut up. After you play a bunch of campaigns, you start to get pretty annoyed with that guy. Anyway, so let's get right to it. Alright, so look at what we got here. So we have some Slayers, we have Longbeards, dwarf warriors, some miners, so a very diverse infantry group here. We have some thunders and we have some quarrelers. So I'm thinking what we're gonna want right now is we're gonna want some more dwarf warriors. So let's get a couple more. And kind of get that army a little bit stronger, and then we're going to move on this army here. Now why I recommend doing that is because you want to take as little damage as possible so you can move and take the Pillars of Grungni and Mount Squighorn. You're going to want to take these 3 provinces here right away, or settlements I should say, so that you can control the whole province of the Silver Road. As you can see here, you only have 2 entrances. So this is a very defensible area to start off on, especially on very hard or legendary where you're probably going to get attacked. So this will be a lot easier to defend. So let's do that, and let's get a building going here. We're going to want to get our income going immediately. And we're going to want this gem mine shaft, and we're going to want to do that because once we get it up to the final level, at settlement level 4, we're going to get 900 income from a single building. And that is very good. Very, very good. Also, I'm going to want to upgrade this clan barracks. Reason being is then we can recruit some more quarrelers, and quarrelers are quite key against the greenskins in the early going, because they can outmatch pretty much any skirmisher in the game. And what technology are you going to want to do? Well, I believe that in the early going, you're going to want to buff up your army quite well, especially on very hard and legendary, because the AI is going to get a bunch of buffs to their units, which is kind of how CA in a way arbitrarily will ramp up the difficulty.
I am the Slayer King.
Another thing that they do is if you look over here at public order, you can see there under difficulty level it's -4 just for having it on very hard. So that is one thing to keep in mind as well. Alright, so I think we are ready to end the turn. And I love those quick turn ends, especially at the beginning. So smooth, it's nice to be able to just get right back into action. Alright, so we have this army creeping over here. I'm not too worried about them right now. Let's go and attack this army here, and we'll fight this battle. Just for fun. Yeah, so I just recently upgraded my gaming rig to a Intel 6700K because they're trying to fire sale them for the new model that just came out. I got a GTX 1070.
Yes.
And a bunch of other fun stuff that makes me be able to run Warhammer at such a nice frame rate. Before I was running a GTX 660. So definitely a massive upgrade for me. I've been saving up for it for a while, so... Anyway, we're going to get set up over here. One thing I noticed about this map is we have these 2 dips in terrain. Now, so that means I'm not going to want to set up right here. I'm going to want to set up over here where I can move my units across this more level area. And then we can move in over here into these woods and have the engagement kind of in this area. Now, this isn't that important in such a easy battle, but in the more difficult battles, you know, that's definitely something to look out for. Alright, so we want to put our Slayers at the back. Slayers are very vulnerable to missile fire, so we're going to want to keep them in the back so that they don't get targeted and singled out right away. My miners, let's just have them protect the rear of the line as well. So we'll put the Slayers on one flank and the miners over here. And let's start the battle.
They die.
Alright, so let's go double check and remind ourselves of what they have. So they got some Goblin Archers, Orc Air Boys, some Biggins, Orc Boys, 2 of them, and they also have just a standard Orc Lord. No upgrades. Alright, so let's fast forward, and what I want to do is put my units on normal speed so that they can stay fresh. Once your units get tired, they get slower, and they also lose combat effectiveness, so that's very important. Now, one thing that I'm going to want to do is make sure that I get my Thunderers on an incline over here and not get them in like a lower area over here, so that they can fire over my lines into their units if need be. Also, I want to make sure that I get Ungrim facing off against their Orc Lord. I think that will be critical. Otherwise, he'll do quite a bit of damage to some of my units. And we're dwarves, so we are quite slow. It's already technically been almost 4 minutes into the battle if we were going by normal time. So I'm just gonna glance back at the national championship game, check the score. It looks like it's 14-7 right now, my time. Alright, so one thing I want to point out here is we are now in range. Once I start firing on their units, they should start to move forward. What I'm going to want to do is select my line right here and be ready to move them up. They might not move forward. Sometimes the AI will move forward immediately, depending on the amount of fire that you're putting down on them. So I'm going to put these Thunders and have them fire on their lord. Yep, see, now they're going to move forward. Hopefully we can do quite a bit of damage to them. It's like one volley to decent damage. I'm going to want to be ready with my dwarves and push them forward. Okay, let's get these slayers and let's actually kind of run them around the flank. Let's just move up these miners. We want to overlap their flanks here. I'm going to move my miners around the flank as well, and we're going to fire on the rest of their skirmishers. Over here my dwarf warriors look like they're starting to lose to their biggins, but now we're gonna push in our flanks and surround them. What I'm gonna do with these slayers is probably have them go after their archers. One thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shift, right click, drag, and one thing that I can do is I can drag and make an attack order as well. You can see that turn red, and they will run and they will move into a formation here and then attack. One thing I'm taking a risk on is moving these slayers in against these skirmishers. They're going to take some damage moving in because they have no armor. This is probably the only dwarf unit that doesn't have armor. They're going to chase off their units. I think they're faster, so they should be able to catch up quite well. What I want to do with my Thunderers is let's fire on Nashrak. Let's move our Quarrelers over here. So now we're starting to... well, they're holding out quite well even though they're absolutely surrounded. That's why we're going to want to start to get some buffs on our units. Let's chase these Goblin Archers and get them off of my units. And that's it. So what I'm going to want to do is make sure that I chase off Nashrak, or at least fire him down, and get him before he gets off the field of battle. There we go. So let's end that. You see, that was not much of a problem, but some of our units did take a little bit of damage, but I think we'll definitely be okay. Ungrim, of course, got 29 kills because he's kind of a beast. Let's just execute the captives.
Onward to death.
Alright, so let's see. Let's attack the Pillars of Grimney.
My command is attack.
And we're just gonna auto-resolve this. And you can see here, because we took out their lord, they don't have one, and that made that battle a lot easier. If we would have waited a turn, the AI would have been able to pop in another lord, and then we'd have to just kill another one. Alright, so we're going to occupy. Ooh, got the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass and a Sapper for Ungrim. Oh, nice. So we got a Fireball for Ungrim too. That's pretty cool.
Your Dawi have been put to work fixing up the captured city.
Yes. Alright, over here, I'm going to want to get some growth going right off the bat, so let's put in the barley field.
Yes.
Alright, and so for Ungrim, this is kind of important. So what we're going to want to do right away, sometimes I like to get Route Marcher, however you want to say it. And the reason being, well, you get that 10% movement range, especially in the beginning if you know you're going to have to be moving around to defend a large area. It definitely helps to be able to have some extra movement range to catch the AI, because they can be pretty slippery. But I'm thinking that we're going to want Axe Lord right off the bat, so let's do this one. And then we're going to get +3 melee defense. Next turn we're going to get +7 melee attack and +4 melee defense, or rather I should say next skill point. But I think this is a very important one to get right away, because it'll buff up your dwarf warriors and miners, which is what you're going to be using for the most part in the early game.
I grow restless.
Okay, let's see. So I think we're good to end the turn then. Grab a drink of my Heineken. Heineken's probably my favorite beer from across the pond. Alrighty, let's Mount Squighorn. Let's take that. As you can see, it'll be no problem. And so now we have taken control of the entire province.
Demands blood.
Nice. I don't think we could have gotten anything better. Potion of Toughness. That is awesome. We are going to give that straight to Ungrim. Alright, so details. We're going to swap out the Ruby Ring of Ruin, which is pretty cool, but I think I'd rather have the potion. Okay, another -8% upkeep for Slayers. That's pretty sweet. Although I can't imagine having more than a few Slayers in an army. Alright, and let's get Axe Lord level 2.
I must fulfill my
We are going to replenish him, and we're going to start building up this area for a few turns here. And as you can see, our public order is not doing well right now, but that should turn around here pretty quick. It looks like 13 of that is just due to us taking Mount Squighorn last turn. And we can issue a commandment, so what I usually do is, right now I'm going to do growth, so that we can grow this province even faster. Basically, I'm going to make this an absolute stronghold so that we have a base that we can work out from. So what are we going to do now? Well, after we're done building up this province a little bit, I want to move up here and do this battle, and then we can get some upgrades for Ungrim. And then we're going to move up to Mount Gunbad. Now, I recommend going for Mount Gunbad before anything else south of the Silver Road because of a couple reasons. For one, it has a gold mine. That's huge. You're going to be able to get a lot of income from that right off the bat, which is going to help in the early game for you to field better units and maybe even an extra army. So you're going to want to take that, and then the other settlement in that area, Grom Peak. Now up here, it's not going to show right now, but there's Zufbar, and there's a settlement right here, here, and here. Now those ones I do not recommend taking, because when you do take them, the vampires, they're going to raid the crap out of you. Like, it'll just be insane. You will not be able to defend this area. This is a much more defensible area. Although I will say one thing. So long as Carrick Kadrin and Carrig, Zufbar can stay in the fight, you will have two factions that will kind of be a buffer zone for you. But if they do get hit, you might have the vampires come up and try and attack you at Grand Peak. Other than that, you should be fairly safe up there. So that's why another reason why I recommend taking that right away. So anyway, let's get right back to it. I don't think we actually have much to do this turn, and we don't have any active grudges. So let's end the turn. We're making pretty dang good money right now, 2,000 gold. So I'm gonna wait to add more units to this army. Oh, never mind. It's about to be a grudgin'.
It is time.
Alright, let's go ahead and kind of trap these guys over here. Although I'm afraid that they're gonna go after... Actually, no, we're gonna stay put. Okay, oh man, there's another army over there.
I am the Slayer.
See, this is where the AI can get pretty annoying. Okay, so... we're gonna have to pick a settlement to go to. I'm thinking we're just gonna go to the Pillars of Grungi. And then on the next turn we'll be able to fend off this army, and if they go and attack this settlement, I'd rather lose that one than this one. So let's go ahead and upgrade this one. And end the turn. Looks like Zufbar is pushing against Carrick Drawn, which is kind of not good. Hopefully they don't end up taking Mount Gunbad before we can. That's really all that I'm mostly worried about. As you can see here, the AI has conveniently stayed out of my movement range. Just out of it. So he's kind of doing a pincer movement on us right now. But you know what? He can go ahead and do that. I don't know if I want to spend the money on this, because we'll just probably end up losing it. Let's just go for it. Why not? Looks like he's trying to stay away from my movement range anyway. Let's go ahead and do that. See what he does. And he did exactly what I thought he would do. And we have no chance of winning this, because we don't have anything to take out his lord. Oh, and look, it's Nashrak again. Wow, what a surprise.
I ain't doing that.
Trying to think of what the best... Let's do that. Let's compare that. Trying to think of what the best thing to do here is. If I should just make another lord, and I'm thinking that's going to be the answer here, and I can just transfer over the units after we're finished taking out these two armies. So let's do that.
Go on, then. The Slayer in me seeks death.
And looks like we got militia training, so we got +5 melee attack and defense for our dwarf warriors and miners. So that's awesome. Let's go up to here so that we can get some more buffs. Looks like +5 leadership for all infantry units, and +5 armor and defense, or melee defense for our shielded units. So let's do that. Then I think I'll be done with this one for a little bit. Maybe I'll do this one for rangers, but I don't see myself using rangers for a little while. Now, I don't like these as much. I don't think they give you as much an impact as, say, militia training or dwarf and resolve. I'll probably go over here and start improving my income and a bunch of other buffs as well for our economy. So yeah. Alright, let's end the turn. Looks like they're gonna stay where they are. And let's see. What do I want to do here? How long does this go for? 3 turns? Let's just do that. We're probably gonna have a hang on a second. We're probably gonna have a rebellion here in a little bit. So we gotta keep an eye out for that. And let's just get the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass in here. Let's attack this army. Yep, see, he's gonna run off. He doesn't have much of a chance here. We can actually just auto-resolve that one. One thing I don't usually do is release captives, because usually you don't get a lot of money back for it. As you can see, we can only get 233 gold. And also, then other Dwarven factions are gonna give us a diplomatic penalty for releasing their captives, so I'm just gonna execute them.
Armed and ready.
Perfect.
I'm going.
Looks like we got some stuff for him. It didn't look like anything too good.
Setting off.
So let's just go back here.
I grow restless. Back them.
And let's get ready to attack this army. We'll end the turn. Looks like we got a point for Logan here. So that's his name. And let's see, I do want to get Axe Lord before we start moving up here and get these other runes. Looks like it's going to take a while for us to get to the rune of negation. Oops.
Rune Lord.
Thought I clicked on that. No, sometimes whoops, didn't mean to hit the desk like that. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll throw on some mods. Let's just do the migration, because we're gonna have a rebellion anyway. What was I saying? Oh yeah, mods. Sometimes I throw on a mod that will do extra skill points or get rid of the public order penalty from the difficulty, just to have a little bit more fun. But I wanted to show you guys a little bit more on how to do well as the dwarves. So, you know, by the way this guy is running away, I have a feeling he's gonna try and sneak around me, because the AI loves to do that. So, alright, and let's talk a little bit more big picture. So, as we can see here, Barak Var is doing quite well out here. This is good for us. We can probably try and confederate with them later, and they're again going to be another buffer zone for us for these other factions to attack them versus us. Looks like we have some upgrades over here. You know, it might be a good idea to throw down some defenses, but this is the center settlement. I don't see an army getting through there before I can deal with them. So what I'm going to do is, we need some public order going in here, so let's get a refectory here, and then we'll upgrade it to a drinking hall and a feast hall and all that. And we'll also upgrade the granary so we can get even more growth. It's very important in the early going here. And we are definitely going to have another rebellion, so what I want to do is move this army over here, and actually, now that I think about it, I'm gonna move Ungrim over here, because what the AI will do is they'll attack you immediately when the rebel army spawns. So we'll do that right off the bat, and we'll end the turn. Yep. We're gonna need to move Ungrim over here to deal with this army.
I grow restless.
And I don't think we're even gonna be able to do anything else this turn. Alright. Yes, yes, we know. Looks like we finished our research. Well, if I want to confederate with Barak Var at some point, I probably shouldn't be ruining my relations with them. Over here, I am going to put some defenses down to deal with annoying stuff like this. Let's move this army over here. Looks like we already have enough surplus to upgrade again. Exactly what I wanted.
The slayer in me seeks death.
This army is getting quite large. We're gonna need to recruit some more units to deal with it.
Got then. To die in battle.
Let's see, so I want to get more quarrelers. Let's get a few more of those.
Welcome, kid.
Okay, Barakvar, what do you want? I don't need to be at war with them right now. It's an awful offer. Why would 100 gold make me want to go to war? Okay, so we got an underway interception. You know, I think we can do this. And I want to get rid of this army anyway, so since they're underground, if we can beat them, they will be out of the battle for good. Alrighty, so they're gonna have some archers, but we have a lot of armor, so I'm not too worried about that. We have the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass. Let's put them right here. And then, oh, whoops. There we go. Alright, let's put our Lord behind them and start the battle. Looks like the power bar is starting off pretty even. A lot of times you'll notice that the power bar for the auto-resolve versus the actual power bar in-game is going to be quite different. The game is kind of, the way they code it, they want you to play the battles more, I think, but I don't know the actual answer to that. So let's fast forward. I'm just going to run my units up because I don't want to wait for it. Gosh, dwarves are so slow. That's one of the only things I don't like about playing as the dwarves, is how slow they are to get into the fight. So let's look at what we have over here. Just some orc boys, a goblin archer, some wolf riders, and Nashrak, of course. And what I want to do is I'm actually going to put my infantry into a hard group. So I'm going to hit Control G. And as we approach here, so our shields are going to be very important here. I love their flaming axes. Looks so cool. Are we running? No, they're walking. Charge. Okay, let's put my Rune Lord over here and have them go and attack Nashrak. Man, they're taking, this unit is taking most of the fire. Okay, so we're able to get into combat here. Of course, my Rune Lord has no runes to use. So Nashrak is doing well over here. That's unfortunate. Whereas Dragonfire Pass should be putting down some pretty good damage, but they're getting attacked by archers. This isn't looking too great, to be honest. This might have been a mistake. Get a close-up of these two fighting. We need to take out Nashrak. That's probably going to be our main chance of winning this. Hopefully my Warriors of Dragonfire Pass can clutch this one out. Let's just fast forward this. So what's nice is at least they're firing into their units, but yeah, I don't know. This is all going to come down to if we can defeat Nashrak or not, I think. Whereas Dragonfire Pass are actually doing fairly well. They're going to trade with this orc boy. Orc boys, I should say. Another thing that you can notice when you're playing on these higher difficulties, the AI normally on like medium or hard would have just routed right there. You know, they wouldn't have gone to such a low amount of health. Alright, let's move this unit in to help out. Hopefully my Rune Lord can defeat Nashrak on his own. Nashrak was able to defeat a whole dwarf warrior. Probably not that surprising though, all things considered. So I actually think we're going to be able to pull this one out. Hopefully these dwarf warriors will stay in the fight. And Nashrak is just not taking enough damage here. I almost want to disengage this warrior's Dragonfire Pass. Go fight him. Thinking that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully we don't take too much damage doing so. So I don't think I don't know if my lord's gonna be able to do that or not. We need to kill Nashrak. No! No! That didn't go. Holy crap, where's Dragonfire Pass? That didn't go as well as I had hoped. Yeah. So that's gonna happen sometimes on higher difficulties. Oh well, at least that was kind of a throwaway army. Okay. Let's just do the tribute. Alright, let's grab these guys again. Gonna need a full army to take out that rebel army over there. So one thing I can say is don't get discouraged right in the beginning of these harder campaigns. They're gonna be tough. It's gonna be hard to get it going and get some armies going and, you know, secure a province. It takes quite a bit of time, and sometimes, you know, it might not work out right away. But as you gain these buffs and whatnot, it'll get easier and easier. So we should have almost a full army. If he attacks SupaSecretAgent, that's okay. We have a good enough army there to defend it. We should also have a good enough army at the Pillars of Grumney to defend that as well. Alright, looks like they have decided to siege us. I'm gonna look at the building browser real quick, see what we have to fight them. 3 Longbeards, 2 Hammers, a Grudge Thrower, 3 Miners, 3 Quarrelers, and 2 Thunderers. Huh.
The Slayer in me seeks death.
Wait a second. Wasn't I... Okay, whatever. Oh, because he's besieging this settlement, which has my clan barracks in it, it's not gonna let me make units. I was confused there for a second. Alright, let's just attack them then. Haha. Yes, we are going to fight this. Redemption time now. Even though this is Greenskin Rebels. They're all the same. They're all the same. Since we are the dwarves, we must kill them all. Sorry, I got a little dark there for a second. Anyway, let's get this started. So we're going to play on this map. What I'm going to do is... I want to set up over here and wait for my reinforcements to come on the field. Let's get our units set up here. Get a line going here. And one thing I can recommend, it's a lot better to, I don't think I'll put this as my front line. What I think I'll do is, I'm going to make that a little bit thicker of a line. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the settlements forces and put them up front. And let them take the fire, and let them take the brunt of the attack, because I'd rather have more forces in my main army than my other one.
Yes, Lord!
Okay. Let's get these thunders. We'll actually put them up front here. Let's actually get them in the center.
For the ancestor gods!
More than likely their lord will be in the center and we can fire on him. Over here we'll get our slayers in the back, of course. Miners, I want to put them on the flanks. Get the Ekron miners over here. Alright, I think we're ready to go. Let's get these guys. Let's get them up on this hill over here. Maybe get my thunders onto a higher area.
Yes, yes! Commoners! The clans unite! Vengeance!
Sorry, just gotta organize these guys a little bit.
Let the vengeance begin!
Get our army set up here. I have that as my main line. We have so many skirmishers. Okay. Okay, so I got main line here. From one army, let's get them in a group. Let's put my slayers with Ungrim. Group up my quarrelers. My other line here. And my grudge thrower. Let's start moving up the grudge thrower, get that into range, and then we can force the opponent to move forward. So we'll take this group here. They will be our front line. Take our skirmishers. All our skirmishers. And I want them in a single line. Oh, I need to unlock the group there. We have so many skirmishers. Okay, and then this line, backup line.
Nothing can stop us.
Sorry, I just wanted to get all that done and squared away. Let's move these guys, put them there, and let's fast forward. This is gonna be an epic grudgeon. It's gonna be a grudgeon. Okay, so we got 4 units models for the grudge thrower. They're about to get into range. Attack these orc air boys. What else? What other targets do we have? They do not have a lot of infantry. Okay, I'm surprised they're not moving forward. Okay. And let's not put these lines. Sorry, sometimes it can be kind of funky trying to get these lines in order. Alright, so let's grab everyone and start moving them forward except for the grudge thrower. I don't think the AI will go after my grudge thrower. I don't think they're smart enough to do that. So our grudge throwers should be firing. I don't know why they stopped. Fire on. Let's see. I just don't really know what to fire on. Let's fire on their spider riders. Oh, see, they They have a goblin rock lobber, that's why they're not going to move forward. Take some of these guys. Let's start firing. And let's hit play. Issue some attack orders. Okay, looks like they do have some more units that I didn't see right away. So group, make sure they're on guard mode. Let's get all our units into combat here. Okay, get into combat. Throwing some blasting charges. Fire on them. Move up, get on this hill. Let's see if we can get some line of sight here. If I move them up on this hill here. Oh, it looks like we're actually getting an attack in. We're not obstructed, so that's good. Let's get these guys from behind. Let's take our grudge thrower and let's fire on these guys over here. So miners back here. Protect our grudge thrower just in case. Keep our slayers safe. Let's chase off their units. Actually, now all we really have to do is fire on their skirmishers and we should be good. Let's get these spider riders. It is a reckoning and it is a grudgeon. These spider riders. There's Ungrim. Let's take out their lord. And that's a victory. Wasn't the cleanest battle ever, but we got it done. Come on. Just finish him off. There he goes. And that's a victory. A decisive one. Now again, I would love to show you guys what units did well in the garrison army, but CA kind of broke the end battle screen. Hopefully they fix that in the next patch. Okay, so now we just need to go finish off this guy. And so if you notice here, my army barely took any damage.
Attack!
Dang it. Okay. Alright. I think I'm probably gonna have to cut off this episode here in a second. I think I just want to get rid of this army over here. Hopefully they attack on the next turn. We'll see here. Yep.
I must fulfill my
He just went right past me. Just auto resolve this. That, and looks like they were able to get away again. No problem. We actually have some movement points to go catch them. So we'll finish off these rebels once and for all. Alright, got a little bit of loot off of them, that's always good. Let's get them back into our territory so that they can replenish. Or replenish faster at SupaSecretAgent than elsewhere. Looks like our watch room finished, so that's good. I don't think the AI will be attacking this garrison as easily with stupid armies like this one. I don't know why he's just hanging out over here. I think he's in my... Yep, he's still in my territory. That's really annoying.
I grow
So apply these points here. Slayer King, +3 for Slayers, get up to +9 for Slayers. Oh, okay, that's not bad. Let's see. Eventually, we're gonna want to get up here so that we can get those. We can get similar buffs for our Longbeards, Hammers, Ironbreakers, and Slayers. So we won't do that right away, though. I kind of want to get Rally, but honestly, another nice thing is Lightning Strike, especially when the AI, especially Chaos, will blob up a bunch of different armies, and then it's just impossible to beat all 3 of them without a similar force. So we'll want that eventually. Right now, though, I'm thinking of maybe just giving Ungrim some more buffs and just making him a melee BA. So let's do Root Marcher. And let's see, do I want... No, let's just do full plate armor. Okay, so I'm thinking next episode we'll go ahead and fight the ambush at the Thundering Falls, and then we'll move up to Mount Gunbad to take that. And it looks like the Greenskins may have confederated with that other Greenskin faction. So yeah, that'll do it for this episode. This is SupaSecretAgent signing out. I'll talk to you guys soon.